Have you ever sat quietly and wondered, when did things change between me and my children? You spent years raising them, changing diapers, staying up through sleepless nights, guiding them through heartbreaks and celebrating their triumphs. You gave up weekends, vacations, and sometimes even your own dreams to help theirs come true, and yet now, when you speak, they interrupt. When you offer advice, they brush it off. When you need help, they're suddenly too busy. Worst of all, you sometimes feel invisible. If that feeling sounds familiar, please know this: you are not alone. Many parents reach a moment when the roles begin to shift. You were once the protector, the teacher, the person they ran to for everything. Now, it feels like they see you differently, sometimes even treating you as if you're a nuisance or, worse, a burden. That kind of pain cuts deeper than almost anything else. It's natural to want to react, to remind them of all you've done, raise your voice, or withdraw in silence. But here's the truth, and it may surprise you: demanding respect rarely brings it back. What works instead is something much more powerful: a quiet strength, calm boundaries, and self-respect. These aren't tricks, they're real shifts that can restore the dignity and connection you deserve. Have you ever said yes when you really wanted to say no? Rearranged your whole day to babysit the grandkids even when you weren't well? Let them use a tone that made you uncomfortable just to avoid conflict? Here's what's important: the more you chase their approval, the less they respect you. Not because they're ungrateful, but because human nature values what stands firm, not what always yields. Respect doesn't come from sacrifice, it comes from self-respect. When you constantly put yourself last, you silently teach others that your needs, your time, and your voice don't matter, and they believe it. It's okay to say no. It's okay to set limits. You are allowed to take up space without anyone's permission. Respect starts with you. When someone speaks down to us, the instinct is to argue, to say, "How dare you? Do you remember everything I've done?" But arguing rarely changes anything. It often just escalates the tension. What does work is calm leadership. When you respond without anger, without trying to win, you show that your peace isn't up for grabs. That quiet strength sends a far more powerful message than raised voices ever could. You don't need to fight for respect, you need to embody it. Let your calm be your power. This may feel heavy but also freeing. You don't need your children to fulfill you emotionally. Of course you love them, but when your sense of worth depends on how often they call or how sweetly they speak, the dynamic shifts in the wrong direction. People, yes, even our children, respect those who are emotionally grounded. When you build a rich life of your own, you become someone they admire, not someone they pity. You stop chasing their presence and begin attracting it. Boundaries aren't walls, they're guideposts that teach others how to treat you. If your children interrupt, dismiss, or talk down to you, it's not necessarily cruelty. It may simply be that those behaviors were never clearly addressed. Silence, over time, becomes permission. Boundaries said calmly but firmly change everything. They teach your children that your presence is valuable, not automatic. Parents give you its instinct, but endless giving without appreciation doesn't teach gratitude, it teaches expectation. When you pull back just enough, your children feel the weight of your absence, and suddenly, your presence is cherished again. Kindness without boundaries becomes invisible. Kindness with clarity becomes powerful. You are not only a parent, you are a whole person, with your own dreams, time, and identity. Building a life outside your children isn't selfish, it's healthy. When they see you living fully, they don't just love you, they respect you. Join the class, pick up the hobby, take the trip, reconnect with friends. You are allowed to prioritize joy. Respect isn't forced, it's inspired, and it begins the moment you stop shrinking and start standing tall again. Even if your children don't respond right away, don't lose heart. They may need time to adjust. But remember, love and respect are not the same thing. You can love your children deeply and still set limits. That's not harsh, it's healthy. When you live with dignity, they notice. When you honor your boundaries, they listen. When you fill your own life with meaning, they admire you again. So ask yourself today, Where am I still giving away my power? Is it saying yes when you want to say no? Staying silent when your voice deserves to be heard? Waiting for their approval to feel worthy? Start with one small change. That's enough. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to begin, because respect is born the moment you start honoring yourself. And if you've ever felt overlooked or undervalued by your children, please hear this. You deserve better, not because of everything you've done, but because of who you are right now. You are worthy, you are strong, and you are not alone.